Alright, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Evidence-Based Weight Loss Part 5 of 20. That means that's crazy. There are still 15 more videos coming out after this on how to lose weight. So I want to talk about my journey because you can quote all these studies, you can quote all these science. Sometimes you just need to hear somebody's actual experience, what they did, what kind of changes they made. Even though that's maybe not necessarily be 100% science, sometimes you just need real life world examples and a face and a person just to show what they did. Sometimes that's the best. So that's what this is. There's not really going to be so much science or even any studies quoted in this video. So one thing I do want to mention, I got up, I'm about 170 pounds now. I got up at one point in 2011, the first year of marriage. I made it up to about 216 pounds or so. I remember we went to Hawaii, and I had to weigh myself to get on the zip line, and it said 216. It's like, ah, man, I'm getting up there in weight. So that is the heaviest I remember. That was in July or August of 2011. And I might insert a video of my old self. Alright, so you see what I used to look like. My face was obviously a lot pudgier, a lot heavier. You can just tell my stomach is more round, and yeah, my cheeks were really pudgy, really chubby, and that was at the point where, I realized I needed to change. I didn't want to be another statistic. I didn't want to be another overweight American. I remember even going in the summertime to the beach, and I didn't even want to take my shirt off. It's like, come on, I'm in my 20s. It's just what you should do. You're a guy, you go to the beach, you take your shirt off because it's the beach, right? You want to take your shirt off. I didn't want to. Let's talk about something here. Your environment. What's the problem with our modern world? We are in a bad environment. What happens if you put a penguin in a desert? It's going to die. What happens if you put a desert animal in the North Pole? It's going to die. What happens if you put blueberries and you try to grow them in the equator? It's not going to grow. Now it grows where we are here in Illinois and Michigan area. What if you put mangoes in Alaska? What's going to happen to it? It's never going to grow there, never. So, and why? Well, we all know the answer to this. It's in the wrong environment. Now, we are placed in the wrong environment in our modern world. We're surrounded by processed foods, high-fat foods, high-sugar foods. Our portion sizes are big at restaurants. We're kind of made to fail, to be honest. We're kind of set up for failure. We go to restaurants and there's very little healthy options on the menu. We get together at Thanksgivings and Christmases and other parties, and everybody just brings a bunch of junk food. I think there's even one survey I heard at one point where you gave Americans that if they were to take the junk food, or what would they do, what would they eat if it was their last day on Earth? And it turns out what they would eat wouldn't be any different than what they'd eat every day. So I don't actually have the source for that, but I heard that at one point. So gaining weight is actually a normal thing. So you see that cabbage or that green lettuce outside, and then you see next to it, or maybe you see some dates and peanut butter. Now, why is it that we're craving the dates of the peanut butter? Well, the body doesn't know when the famine is coming, because up and throughout all stages of history, there's always been a famine. In our modern world, we don't have so much of a famine. We have supermarkets, freezers, preservatives, things in packages that can last forever. And we got freezers, fridges now, so we used to go through periods of famine. That's gone. So now we have an overabundance of food. We can literally get whatever we want from the supermarkets and grocery stores. You see the lettuce or you see the dates and peanut butter. Well, you want the dates and the peanut butter because your body doesn't know, our minds know that there's no famine coming, but your body doesn't know that. It wants to store up on the extra calories while it's available, but the famine never comes. So it's a normal response to an abnormal environment that we're in. That's why you see those blueberries, you crave them. I mean, what's blueberry season? 4, 5, 6 weeks? It doesn't last very long. It's high in sugar, and you just want to eat those up like crazy. At least I do. So we gotta stop. You gotta change your environment. You just gotta change your whole mindset. And once that changes, and once you're in the proper environment, the weight can come off. So I jotted down some notes of things I remember changing. Unfortunately, with this being 2011 and is now 2021, I don't remember 100% all the changes we made. I do remember they were small yet steady changes. One thing I remember, I stopped eating late at night. That was just the thing that started to stop. I made myself sure I was hungry before I went to bed. So obviously I was eating. I was doing a form of calorie restriction. Now today, that's not the most, I don't really believe in that view 100%. You should eat to feel full, to feel satisfied, because that's more sustainable. That's why I recommend calorie-dense foods that are very dense, low in calories, such as fruits and vegetables, and a whole food plant-based diet. Hey, Dasa. Dasa, why don't you go get a diaper on if you're going to be on camera, okay? Small, steady changes. I did some things like no longer eating late at night. I'd go to bed hungry. I don't think that's the best approach. Eat so you feel satisfied. It's things like pizza and ice cream were becoming once a month. I mean, who doesn't like that pizza and ice cream every once in a while? I made it less of a priority of mine. I just started eating less in general. Small little changes, cutting out more sugar, less fat. More vegetables. Again, these weren't all changes overnight. This was, maybe I gave up pop and I quit doing that. I quit having pop. All right, then the next thing, go down. I used to eat 2-foot-long subs. I remember I helped my brother-in-law move. I got a foot-long BLT, bacon, lettuce, tomato, and then I got a foot-long meatball sub. I would eat those up, so I would change to a 6-inch sub. And it would be the turkey sub, still not the healthiest, but I would put all the vegetables on it. That's a big difference between a bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich and a meatball marinara from the Subway. So that was a change. And of course, I was still hungry after a 6-inch. If I was eating a 6-inch today, I would still be hungry. If I were to get an all veggie sub, that's still hungry after a foot of that. I'm just a big eater. I know I made changes because I have mentioned before, I used to eat 25 Buffalo Wild Wings in one single sitting. I would just stack on the bones. It was like a pride thing. I'd show it to my friends, be like, look at all those bones. I ate all that. So I remember going to my brother-in-law's bachelor party, and they went to Buffalo Wild Wings, also known as B-dubs here in the U.S. And I did not get a single wing. I didn't order, even though it was a bachelor party. Now, this was the year I was losing weight. It's like I just wanted to get down into the I think maybe I was in the 180s or so, or upper 170s. I just wanted to get down to the 160s. That's how I knew I really changed. The biggest loser was a big inspirement. Even though I wasn't obese and I wasn't heavy, well, I was heavy and I was overweight, but I wasn't obese. I saw these people go on the show and then a couple months later running a marathon. So in 2012, shortly after I lost all that weight, we did our first marathon, our only marathon. That was way back in 2012. That really leaned me down. I got into the 140s at that point. So I was probably about 25 pounds lighter than I am now. And I do, little secret, I do actually want to lose 10 pounds. I'm hoping to do that this summer. I want to get into triathlons. I want to focus on a high volume of vegetables. I just want these abdominals show, and I want to be an example to you guys, and I want to be an example to my clients. So I do actually want to get down to 160. One of the biggest changes is I was just constantly thinking about what I'm eating. That was one of the big changes I definitely remember. Just constantly aware of changes I made. Constantly. Just before I'd just be eating, wouldn't even think about it. Now I'm being conscious and actually subconsciously thinking about what I'm eating. So that was a big thing. Write down these things because write down these tips I'm giving because they might help you. These things that help me, they might help you as well. So that's about it. I'm sorry that this wasn't more informative. Really, it was just a bunch of changes over a slow period of time. Be cutting sugar, be cutting this, cutting that out. We decided to do a marathon, so we had to run. We were running more because we had to train for that. Maybe going to the gym an extra time a week. Not doing things such as eating after 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, which I mentioned that in the last video, not to be doing that. It's just little changes here and there. Less processed foods, more vegetables. Constantly thinking about what I'm eating, what I'm putting in my body. And before I knew it, I think I went from 216 and I think I went to about 160 in that year. I think I went down to 160 pounds. So I lost 40, 50, 55 pounds roughly. And I did even make it down to the 140s at one point. The lightest I can remember being is probably 145. That was training for the marathon, and that, my abdominals were really showing. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked that. But I don't know if that's necessarily the healthiest weight to be at on the 140s. Probably should be in the 150s for my height and weight and everything, at least. But yeah, you know, just small, sure changes. Eating out less pop. No, I haven't had pop in years. Less sugar, less ice cream, less pizza, just all that less, and then more whole foods. And again, it was a slow change. Biggest Loser really inspired that. The fact that those people did the marathon in a couple of months after going to the show, and then are way heavier than I was. Food Inc. was kind of another one. It just talked about, it talked a little bit about veganism and factory farming, and it kind of talked about Monsanto and the chemicals in our food, and then the pesticides. It just kind of showed more how corrupt the food industry was. And I was like, wow, I didn't know any of those things. So that inspired changes. I found inspiration from things, and I decided to make a change. And that's why I want to get back to you guys. I'm hoping to inspire you guys to want to make changes, because I'm so happy I did. I'm so happy I can go to the beach without a shirt on. I'm so happy that I can see visible abs in the mirror on my stomach. Sometimes I can even see it through the shirt. This probably isn't good lighting. Like that makes me happy, and I don't know. I just hope I can do the same for you guys. And something fell down in the other room. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is part 5. I don't remember what part 6 is on. I have it written down. We'll see you guys in the next video. Please share these videos. Don't forget there are 30 recipes down in the description below to help jumpstart your weight loss. And like I said, please share this. Between offering all these videos for free and offering these recipes, and if I could just add a workout plan for people, I could probably sell this for hundreds of dollars. But I'm giving it all for free. So thank you guys so much for watching. Give this a thumbs up if you like the tips. And we'll see you next week, guys. All right, bye-bye. Less processed foods. You know, when we went to vegan in 2015, we were already gradually making healthier lifestyle changes since towards the mid to end of 2011. So during those 4 years, we were already kind of making little changes here and there. So going vegan in 2015 was not that difficult. We were already eating less meat, more Subway, a little bit more veggies. And I feel like when we went vegan, we made even more changes. Now, I didn't really lose weight because I was already at a good weight. I was probably in the 150s or so at that point.